And now for our next news special report.
And now a special report you can't afford to miss. Tonight we uncover a seismic shift in American politics. For the first time, President Trump has eclipsed Biden in a major NBC poll. Yes, they were forced to report the bad news. Yes, bad news for Biden. But there's more to this story than just the numbers. We delve into the recent APEC Summit where President Biden's confusion became a global spectacle and Trump's reaction, as always, was unfiltered and direct. And what does this mean for our nation? How are the young voters altering the political landscape, and why is this critical to the future of our republic? We're bringing you a story that's more than just a headline. It's a revealing glimpse into the heartbeat of America. So stay with us for exclusive breakdown and insights that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the current state of American politics. And don't miss the final thought, a perspective that every American needs to hear. Now, before we dive into today's story, let's think about this for a moment. Our news is a beacon in today's turbulent political waters, and it's made possible by our dedicated sponsors. Just like a ship needs a stabilizer in rough seas, your support of our sponsors keeps us steady and strong. And one such lifesaver is this innovative gadget from Don'tWastePower.com. This is what it is. It plugs right into your wall. Don'tWastePower.com. In times of soaring energy costs, it's akin to unpredictable political tides, and this device helps you manage your power bills, much like how we help you navigate through complex political narratives. So visit Don'tWastePower.com and get a 66% discount and free bonuses. Remember, supporting them is like anchoring us in these stormy times. Now let's set sail into today's report. In an era where political landscape are as dynamic as ever, a recent development has grabbed the nation's attention. President Trump has overtaken President Biden in a national general election poll, as reported by NBC News. This isn't just a shift in numbers, it's a profound transformation in the American political narrative. But let's first take a look at a moment that happened over the weekend. During the Commit to Caucus event in Fort Dodge, Iowa, President Trump sharply criticized Biden's leadership, particularly highlighting Biden's perplexing behavior at the APEC Summit in San Francisco. And Trump described Biden as looking like he had absolutely no idea where he was, what was happening, what the hell he was supposed to do, paired with his, of course, trademark humorous hand gestures. Watch.
Crooked Joe Biden was in San Francisco for a summit with China, looking like he had absolutely no idea where he was, what was happening, what the hell he was supposed to do. He walked up with a man who looks like a piece of granite, right? He's strong like granite. He's strong. I know him very well. President Xi of China. And he's standing there. He's a fierce person. Now, the press doesn't like it when I say good things about, but, what can I say? He runs 1.4 billion people with an iron hand. And they say, oh, he said good things about him. No, he happens to be a very smart person. If I say a certain leader is smart, that's controlling a big part of the world, the press gets upset that I say smart because that's a good thing. No. Very smart people. These are very smart people. But they're dealing with very stupid people. Our leader is a stupid person. Our leader can't get off this stage. You see this stage? When he's finished with a speech, by the time whatever it is he's taking wears off, and he's looking... Okay, thank you. Thank you. How do I leave? That's what happened. This is the guy we have keeping us out of nuclear war. And by the way, I've been indicted more times than Alphonse Capone. He's the most vicious of all gangsters. If he took you to dinner and if you didn't look proper, if you laughed a little bit, he might think you're laughing at him. It's dangerous to laugh. He'd kill you immediately. He was indicted one time. I was indicted 4 times. Once I got indicted the first time, though, I said, now the gloves are off. Because out of respect for the office of the presidency, very important, I never hit him this hard. But now I say it. He's the most incompetent president we've ever had. He's the worst president we've ever had. He's a total crook. A total crook. I would never say those things because just out of respect for the office, I would never say those things. But now you can say it. We have a crooked president who gets money from China. That's why everyone says he's so weak with China. You know why? Because he got a lot of money from China, and they know how much. We don't. And Jamie Comer and Jim and everybody, they're doing a good job. But they'll never find out the real numbers. But China knows the real numbers, and it's a lot. And we have a president who's very corrupt and who's controlled very much by a lot of foreign countries. And this is not a man that should be running our country. It's not a man that should have ever been ascended to power because
Yeah, we know what happened there. Now, the portrayal of Biden's disorientation was not an isolated incident. A video clip from APEC Summit showed Biden wandering, seemingly confused as world leaders look on. The moment, captured and spread, becomes a powerful symbol of the current administration's disarray. Watch. And there's Joe picking his nose, apparently. Oh, is this where I stand? I think this is where I'm supposed to be, right? Jill, where are you? Help me, Jill. Where's the Easter Bunny? This guy doesn't... He looks so confused. Oh, man. It's so sad. On the world stage, this is... Oh, what? Do I look over here? Poor guy. This is the state of America. Oh, okay, we're done. I got to run to the bathroom now. Oh, no, it's my turn to talk? Okay, now, the NBC News poll reflects the changing perception in America. For the first time, Trump leads over Biden with a 46 to 44% margin. This change is most notable among younger voters, a group that largely favored Biden in the 2020 election. Now, the poll shows a stark reversal. Only 31% of young voters approving of Biden's performance, a significant drop from previous ratings. And of course, NBC, Meet the Press, were forced to report it. Watch.
Look in our polling right now. Here it is. Wow. Donald Trump, we have at 46%. Biden, 44%.
And this is significant because this is the first time in the history of our poll that former President Trump beats President Biden, still within the margin of error, but still significant.
Yeah, in 2019, 2020, when Trump was president, he trailed all of them. This year, he's trailed all of them in our poll. First time in more than a dozen polls we've seen a result like this.
I love how she's like, but it's still within the margin of error, right? Right? It's still within the margin of error. Well, the reason for this shift are manifold. One prominent factor is the response to international issues, particularly what's happening in Israel. The poll indicates a 70% disapproval rate among young voters regarding Biden's handling of the situation. The sentiment has even caused a rift within the Democrat Party with debates over the U.S. stance towards Israel. Let's take a look at how Meet the Press covered this one.
As the war between Israel and Hamas rages on, it is having a transformative impact in our politics. We have a brand new NBC News poll out this morning, which shows the toll it is taking on the president. I'm joined now by national political correspondent Steve Kornacki to take us through the numbers. Steve, some real stunning highlights here in this poll.
Absolutely, and I think you're right to set it up that way. What's happening in the Middle East, it really does seem to be connecting with what's happening domestically in our politics. Let's start with the bottom line here. President Biden, what is his job approval rating? We measure it now at 40%, with 57% disapproving. The significance, that is the lowest President Biden has ever measured in our poll in terms of job approval. And just look at the sea change from the start of this year. Remember, early this year, Democrats coming off a strong 2022 midterm. He was almost even. Now he's 17 points underwater on this question.
Significant dip there, Steve.
It is. And we mentioned the drop in that approval rating and the connection to the Middle East. And here it is. On foreign policy, 33% approve of Joe Biden's job performance. Just in September, we asked the same question, and it was 41-53.
These numbers surprised our own pollsters, Steve, with one saying he cannot remember a time when a foreign entanglement that didn't involve U.S. troops had the capacity to transform the electorate. And that's not the case in this poll.
No, go even a step further on this one. I think this jumps out at you, too. Overall, this is the handling of the Israel-Hamas war. And again, it kind of measures overall up with Biden's foreign policy approval. But look at this. among the oldest group of voters, 65 plus. There's a majority who approve of how Biden is handling this. That's plus 12. Look at the youngest group of voters. 20 approve, 70% disapprove. He is 50 points underwater with the youngest group of voters. That is a 62-point net swing.
Well, think about that for a second, because you got all these students on the campuses that are protesting the American position, the Biden administration's position. So they've been indoctrinated for this very poll number. And it's interesting, too, because you have the 65-plus group who is in approval of this. Now, they don't come from the same indoctrination camps.
Between youngest and oldest on this topic of Israel and Hamas.
And it's a critical group of voters that he needs in order to win re-election,
critical.
that's for sure.
Absolutely. So we're showing...
Now, Trump's ascendancy in the polls is not an isolated phenomenon. Other polls, both national and in key battleground states, echo this trend. The Real Clear Politics average of polls shows Trump leading by 1.6 percentage points. Moreover, a comprehensive Stack Data Strategy survey predicts a Trump victory in the Electoral College. We covered this last week. Now, the implications of this polling data are far-reaching. As we inch closer to the 2024 election, these numbers are not just predictors of a potential outcome, they're indicators of the national pulse. The American electorate, particularly the younger demographic, is signaling a desire for change, for leadership that resonates with their aspirations and addresses their concerns. Within the Republican Party, Trump's dominance is unquestionable. In a poll for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, Trump leads with a commanding 58%, far ahead of the other potential candidates. This level of support within his party underscores his continued influence and appeal. So what does this mean for the American Republic? Well, these developments are a clarion call to all people. The people who are looking for leaders who can navigate the complexities of today's world with clarity and confidence. That's what they're looking for. These polls serve as a referendum on current policies and a projection of the public's aspirations. It's crucial to note that Biden's campaign team downplays these polls. However, the numbers speak louder than the dismissive statements. As the 2024 election approaches, every shift in public opinion, every political statement becomes a vital piece of the larger puzzle of America's future. So we ask you, our viewers, to stay engaged and informed. And if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. This isn't just a call to action. It's an invitation to join us on this journey through a pivotal time in our nation's history. And we promise to continue delivering insightful and comprehensive reports on these developments, helping you to navigate the ever-changing tides of American politics. Now, in closing, this report isn't just about poll numbers or political jabs. It's a reflection of a nation at a crossroads. As we've seen, President Trump's recent lead over President Biden in the polls isn't just a statistics, it's a resounding message from the American people. It speaks to a growing disillusionment with the current administration and a yearning for decisive, confident leadership. And of course, we see that in President Trump. He's got a track record already. So this shift, especially among the younger voters, though, is particularly telling. It suggests a significant change in the political landscape, one that challenges the established narratives and defies conventional wisdom. It's a reminder the American Republic is vibrant and responsive and continually shaped by the will and voice of its people. As we approach the 2024 election, these developments are more than just fodder for political pundits. They're signposts of the evolving American spirit. It's a story that matters deeply to every American citizen, for it is about the future of our republic, the preservation of our values, and the direction we choose as a nation. Let's keep watching, let's keep listening and participating in this grand experiment. Remember, your voice is your vote, and it's the heart of our republic. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.